guys, happy holidays. Oh my goodness, you're so close to me. Let me fix this. There. Okay. This is going to be my last video that I am posting for OPAO. Based on our last time I spoke to you guys, we were in discussion with Wendy and Jeremy about the future and what's best for the studio and how to partner and if that's going to be feasible. So what Wendy and Jeremy have decided is, because we are a nonprofit, which is a separate entity from PDD, which means that as an organization, there may be times through our community contributions that we would be partnered with other studios or other performers that may be in competition with us, you know, like at Jump or Spotlight. And for proprietary reasons and for brand reasons and to protect her business, Wendy has decided that it's not feasible to partner with OPAO as of next year. So what that means for all of you is that there is no group fundraising for company next year or for any of the families that PDD. As an organization, because I was separate, I do have the option to continue to stay separate and continue the nonprofit without partnering with PDD. However, because of the non-competitive clause in the company contracts, as well as branding and proprietary reasons, those of you that receive credit, those of you that are in company, meaning so any of the children that mentor, any of you that do things for PDD that you receive credit for, costuming, social media, especially admins, and of course any of her employees, unfortunately would not be able to be my members. And that's protecting her brand, and that's protecting her studio, which I completely understand. So that put me in a position to make a decision. And, you know, my heart is with PDD. My heart is with all of you and the families. And, you know, even if company members cannot be can't be members of OPAO, if I continue to fundraise even the families that are not in company, at some point and somewhere, you know, the students are either mentors or the moms do the costumes or are doing photography or social media and do receive credit, which helps us all with dance. I mean, Jasmine is a mentor, so I completely understand, which also put me in a position where I would have to decide, is the nonprofit more important to me than the families that PDD? And to me, they're not separate. OPAO was built for PDD families. It was built by PDD families. My intent is never to go separate or to include anybody outside of the PDD family to fundraise. However, because we decide to go the nonprofit route, I have to community contribute, and even if we don't have members that are outside of PDD, it's within those community contributions that there may be some conflict. And that's what Wendy and Jeremy were concerned about, which completely from a business point of view, I totally understand and respect it. So what that means for all of you is, in the upcoming season, there will be no group fundraising. There will be no OPAO. The OPAO will need to be dissolved, which, you know, if company members can't be involved at this point, you know, that's all the families that I have fundraised for this year. And then the ones that are not in company, they all receive credit. So that left me with nobody that I really want to fundraise for. I mean, if you guys remember in our meeting when this was all founded, I was not jumping up and down saying, please let me be president of a nonprofit. This was all for all of you, and this was for the studio. And my heart has grown to love all of you, and I'm very connected with PDD and what we do as families for our children. And that is the reason that I did it, and that is the reason that I strived for it. Based on the restrictions for next year, there would be no purpose for me to continue, because I can't do it for the people that I love, and I can't do it for the Ohana, because it was never about me creating a nonprofit just to have a nonprofit. The nonprofit gave us more opportunities for the families of PDD to make more money, and it was the best opportunity for us to have the most fundraising events, because most of the successful fundraisers that are very lucrative, you need to be some sort of an organization like a nonprofit or a PTO, which is why we took that route. I will say that it's been a learning experience this year for both Wendy, Jeremy, and I. We've discussed this thoroughly. It was not a rash decision, and it was not an easy decision on any one of our parts. But we are paying patrons and pay for dance, and Wendy and Jeremy are business owners. So first and foremost, they are business owners and they need to protect their brand and their business, which I completely respect and understand. We also need to understand that we are paying patrons for the business. So because of that, we are their customers, and we can support them in their decisions and continue on with PDD, because that's where my heart is, and that's where all of your heart is. Now, because there won't be any traveling going on, I'm not sure what the Wendy's decision is for the company and travel and things like that. That is something that is that you'd have to bring up with Wendy, that you'd have to ask her. But from my side, there won't be any group fundraising for PDD. There won't be any OPAO anymore, because I'm not going to take the name and I'm not going to take the brand and gift it to anybody else, because Jasmine loves PDD and her heart is there. My heart is with all of you and the families, and that's why I started this. With that said, some of you have asked, so what is the plan then for us to fundraise for next year? Now, I know some of you did personal fundraising on the side, and you guys can continue to do that. I'm sure that at some point I can find things for us to fundraise as small groups. We just cannot be an organization that has the ability to be competitive with other studios, which in turn is a threat to PDD. And of course we don't want that, because all of our kids flourish there, and that's why we continue to come, and that's why we continue to sacrifice our times, and we continue to bring them to dance. And what Wendy and Jeremy has built is something that I'm very grateful for. As you all know, Jasmine just wrapped up her first movie, and honestly, she would not have the skills to have booked that job, to have been on set, to have been with all of these professionals that have worked on major motion pictures, without the teaching and without the classes that she's taken at PDD. So I'm super grateful for that, as I know that all of you are. But yeah, it's a bittersweet. I just wanted you to know that we didn't give up on you guys. It wasn't a rash decision. It wasn't like it was too much, and on both sides we decided we just couldn't do this. There was much discussion about this. There was much emails back and forth, and it's just what's best for Wendy and Jeremy, and for their brand, and for the studio that we continue to come to and we continue to love. So I encourage all of you to take it graciously. I know that it is a hard pill to swallow, with us looking forward to fundraising, and I know we've looked forward to the events and whatnot. I will miss all of the things that we've done together, and I definitely will miss the nice payouts twice a year. However, that doesn't mean that it's an impossibility to fundraise. We just cannot do it where it can be competitive with the studio, which makes sense. Why would we want to do that? Our Ohana is there, so why would we want to sour something that we continue to bring our kids to, and we continue to make friendships, and we continue to love each other in that sense? So with that said, I guess that's a public service announcement to let you guys know what was going on, the reasons behind it. Any questions regarding company or regarding the studio need to be directed to Wendy. That is not any of my decisions. Anything regarding OPAO can be directed directly towards me. We will continue the rest of our events, which is the Christmas boutique, the end of the year. At that point, Amber and I will consolidate the account, and you probably will receive another payout before we have to close the account. So that is still in the works. I may, depending on how much is in the bank, if it's not worth giving $20 to every family, maybe we will just do a family appreciation night and close it out with a nice holiday party or something like that. And I think that's all I gotta say about that. So I hope you guys have a great holiday. I look forward to seeing you guys all at the parade. And like I say, we continue to come to the studio, and we continue to make friendships, and we continue to have each other. So this is not an ending point, and I encourage you guys not to grieve it like a death or an end to something, because this is only the beginning of us flourishing as a dance Ohana. And we learn and we grow together. So yeah, have a good holiday, everyone. Take care.